pretty lucky guy because I'm sitting next to two women who work at your bar. They're in the Merlotte shirt. Hey, go stand up for us.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Try not to get killed. It's dangerous. Wearing that shirt is dangerous.
Two questions, quick ones. Is the Obama mask an inside joke to the Game of Thrones George Bush mask? And the other thing is, can you promise we're not going to see any more of that smoky monster?
Yeah, the Obama mask definitely has nothing to do with that other mask. I think that was, I don't know what happened with that. I think it was a mistake. I don't know. And the smoke monster, I'm not sure where we are, so I can't make that promise. But yeah, I hear you. I hear you. That's all I'm gonna say.
Next question.
Yeah.
Sam, a huge fan. I think you're amazing on True Blood. I'm just wondering, are you slightly disappointed that your story hasn't directly connected with Dennis O'Hare
Yes.
in either season 3 or season 5?
Yeah, absolutely. Dennis is so great. I was a huge fan of Dennis O'Hare's before the show, and I remember when we got him, I was so excited. I mean, everything that I had ever seen him in, he stole. Like, what was the George Clooney movie that he was in? Michael Clayton. Do you remember that scene where he loses his keys and he goes to that family's house and they're in the kitchen? That's Dennis O'Hare. I thought it was like the best. That was a great movie, and I thought that was one of the best scenes in the movie. And we were both in New York, you know, doing theater, you know, at the same time. I didn't really know him, but yeah, I'd love to work with him. I think he's by far and away one of the very best actors that's ever been on our show. He's great, in my opinion. Yeah.
Next question.
I just want to know how you learned to walk like a girl, because it's not an easy thing. You were like sashaying down the hallway.
I spent a lot of time in the West Village, and all of my 20s there, so A that.
Next question.
I will just add on to that, saying that, you know, when you don't have hips and you're trying to shake them and make them shake, my hips were sore after some of those scenes. They literally were sore. It was ridiculous.
Hello, Sam.
Hi.
Do you have a favorite season so far? What's your favorite?
Wow. That's a good question. I mean, they all, you know, everyone is so different. I think the most of all of them, if you took all of them, the one that's most different than all of them is season 1. You know, it was kind of a different show then. It was a little smaller. Nobody'd left town yet. There was a lot centered around the town, and I liked that a lot. I don't know if I liked it better than the other seasons, but I really liked that kind of, you know, that really kind of small season where everything was new and a little scary and weird, and we didn't know that there were tons of, you know, supernatural creatures. But you know, acting-wise, you know, I think last year was one of the really good ones for me, where I got to do Tommy, and then I had when Tommy died, and then that scene in the swamp where we throw our parents into the, you know, into the swamp. God, it was terrible. Terrible. It's hard on parents. It's hard on waitresses. But that was a good. I like that, a lot of that stuff. You know, my parents.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
So HBO always pushes things to the limit as far as being a little bit raunchy. And my question is going to kind of push that one a little bit. In some of the earlier seasons, you and Bill seem to have a little bit of a raunchy nighttime dream sequence. And I'm just wondering.
I think that was my dream.
It was your dream.
I got to cop to that.
Moyer's real dream.
Moyer had nothing to do with it. That was all.
As a two-parter question, was that so hard to do? And then, second part, when are you and Eric going to start fantasizing about each other?
Oh my God, yeah, wow. Well, you know, if we do enough seasons, we're all gonna hook up. You know?
Never mind, I say you sweep in and just take them both.
We've all hooked up with Sookie, where the guys are gonna start hooking up, the girls are gonna start hooking up, like. Yeah, that was really funny. The dialogue in that scene was really funny, like talking about hard water and you know, and Steven and I tried to totally try not to laugh. So I've told this story before, so some of you probably have heard it. That you have stand-ins who basically, while they're lighting the scene, they just stand there so that the lighting can light the scene, and the actors can go off and act like they're really important. And so our two guys were there, and they're friends. We've known them for years, and Steven and I decided to have some fun, and so they're just basically standing there looking at each other. It's kind of awkward because you just have to stand there, and they're kind of standing close, and and they've been with each other all day. There's nothing to talk about anymore, and they just have to stand there. So they're not really looking at each other, sort of looking away, whatever. And we decided to tell them that they needed to take their shirts off in order for the scene to be lit better. And we were kind of standing by Video Village, where you can see the monitors and see them, because you can see what the camera's seeing. So we were watching their faces. So that was a little weird, but they took their shirts off. And we pretended, we told the director to say it, so he would, so that it was coming from the director. And so then we told them to stand closer. And they were like, all right, and then stand closer, and then they were really close, and then we said you have to kiss, and then they knew we were, It was really funny, especially if you knew those guys.
All right, next question.
Hey Sam, big fan.
Hey, thanks.
Out of all of the new and older members of Hollywood, you're one of the younger actors that has perfect timing. For your show, for your timing, it's really spot on. I really appreciate that. Good TV show. My question is though, out of younger actors, Generation Y and younger, how do you break into the industry? Besides having a good resume, no connects or anything. How do you break into the industry?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, there's no, it's sort of. I moved to New York right after college, and it's so much easier when you're 20. If you're really young, it's because everybody wants young people, and when you're young, you have the potential of becoming very successful. But I just I just walked into I found out where all the agencies were. I walked into them with a picture and resume. I didn't have hardly anything on it except for a couple things in college. Took acting classes, and then tried to get in local productions. Actually, now it would be easier because you can shoot your own movies now and put them on the internet, and you can show your chops, and you can say, here's my thing, So that's what I would say, is to do that.
Well, that's the way to go. Would you recommend any websites or networks that would work better than others?
I have no idea, I'm just so not in that, it's just, I have no idea.
And may
I say that.
shake your hand.
What's that?
May I shake your
Yes, of course you can. Right on.
All right, is there anybody?
Hello.
Showing your look a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Can you talk about your time on Dexter a little bit? What that was like?
Yeah.
That also was
Yeah, that's right. For some of those who don't know, I was on the second episode of Dexter, and I think I was the first guy he killed in his basement. And I was naked again, classic situation. I don't know how that always happens to me, but I was. And did I know Michael at that? I know Michael now. I think I may have known him. But he plays a good Dexter. He's creepy when he gets into character. And we were they wrapped me in saran wrap, for those of you who know the show, and I was wrapped for 4 hours, 4 hours straight. And you never think that it's going to be that long, just a couple shots. But it was 4 hours straight. I remember I started losing feeling, in my limbs, and I had to pee at a point. So I had to wait. But it was trippy. It was totally trippy because, it's a weird thing having to play somebody who is being terrorized by a serial killer. It was weird. I had to kind of go in that place, which is kind of a weird, scary place. But what was fun about that part is I got to play a bad guy, which I like to do. It was fun. I got to play, that kind of just a drunk driver and, irresponsible.
So I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next question, please.
Hi, Sam.
Hi.
I just want to let you know that nothing gets in the way of True Blood every week for me. I allow no obstacles, and I lay out the law, you know, it's my time. But I wanted to know, you gave out a handshake, but can I kiss your own cheek?
Yes, you
You need to keep a lot of that stuff for safety reasons down low, guys, okay?
Cheek kiss, right? Oh, that's a very nice kiss, by the way.
All right, next question.
Hi, stepping away from True Blood again, what was your favorite movie to make? Because personally, I love doing Alien vs. Predator.
I love making that. I love making that. It was so, I gotta say, like, meeting the alien was awesome. I mean, it was so, I mean, I've never been starstruck, but I mean, you know, it's like, you know what was weird? I was riding in, there was a guy with me when they were driving me in from the airport, to the hotel. And I didn't really, I was like, oh, who are you playing? He's like, well, I'm actually the alien. I'm actually the guy in the alien. And what it is the same people have been doing it since the second Alien movie. And there are three people. There's one person in the alien suit, which is really tall and looks like the movie and is badass. Then there's a guy who runs the mouth, you know. And then there's a guy who does the tail and also pours goo all over it. And I was so psyched to get eaten by that alien. So that was definitely one of them. The one that I just did would have to be maybe one of my favorite parts I've gotten to do in a movie, I think, as well.
All right, next question.